I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I am the Dungeon Master, and this is Dragons of War. Today we are rejoining the party after they had fought and defeated a terrible dragon from the far realm. In fact, that is exactly what has just happened. So, Bitey Slayer is still unconscious, and many of you are still pretty wounded as
I'm just making sure everyone isn't dying.
Well, I think somebody should go help Bitey Slayer out. Because, I'm
Yeah,
just a big dumb lizard.
I'll be helping out Bitey Slayer.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask Pesci if he knows anything about how to maybe close this gate, because I clearly have very little idea of what to do with any kind of arcane energy.
Um, yeah, I think Pesci was going to investigate after taking a quick glance at Perzor and determining that you're fine. Uh, so, DM, what can I roll to take a glance at this gate?
well, you guys had already rolled all your investigations last time, and so there's really not a whole lot um, to be learned uh, further about the gate, other than you know that somehow the sealing runes that you had disrupted had allowed this gate to flicker to life.
Okay. So, can I make a is there anything I could do to figure out how to disable it from the side?
Well, if you have Dispel Magic, you can try that.
Did I get my level 6 spell? Or did we hit level 6?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys leveled up at the end of last session.
Okay. So Pesci, he looks around, and you can see his demeanor changes as he kind of starts imitating Garakul in this, and says some stuff about the words and everything, and says, now it's very interesting. You see this letter right here. Now this one right here is actually the focal point of this entire enchantment as he touches it and casts Dispel Magic on it.
Yeah, and Gorakul is just sort of rolling his eyes as he sort of tends to Bitey Slayer.
Okay, so you roll your caster level check.
Is this something I can use inspiration on?
Yes.
Alright, I will use inspiration. So, what, is this just a... How do I do this type of roll here in this system?
It's D20 plus your proficiency bonus.
Okay. Plus... Alright, I'm just going to roll the d20. My proficiency is 3.
Okay.
So that's a 20. Sorry, there's a train going right by me. Let me put myself on mute.
As you are trying to dispel the magic, you are hit by a wave of like backfeed arcane. It's like an electrical current, but it's not electricity, it's just pure arcane energy. And as the current hits you, you have to roll a constitution save.
All of us, or just
Just
Pesci?
Just me. Okay.
I believe I'm not stunned, correct? I'm no longer stunned.
Right.
Because I still have the stunned effect on. Oh, there you go. Thank you.
So you get hit with this arcane backlash, and instantly you begin to see stuff swirling around and dropping away. You're no longer in the room here with your allies, but rather floating through some void, but instead of being a complete empty void that just goes on, you can see nightmarish shapes and figures in the distance. You guys can see Pesci's form kind of fade, the arcane energy hitting him
Pesci, no!
kind of fades him out like a picture fading away, and then you don't see Pesci anymore. But the portal also shuts down.
Oops.
So Pesci actually disappears.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
I roll an arcane to see what just happened. To see if I can understand what happened.
Sure.
Pesci was there and then he was just gone. It's like he faded away into nothingness.
This is not good. And he was a very entertaining guy. I mean, this is not what we need. Is to lose our entertainment. I mean, I do have a loot, but I'm not nearly as much fun.
You're not sure. You just know that when he cast his spell, he somehow became entangled with the portal, and then when it shut off, he disappeared.
You want to try?
That's not good.
You want to try to turn it back on again?
I wouldn't if I'm honest. It might cause another thing to come crawling back out with Pesci.
That's true, but then our friend's going to be, dying someplace in the background.
Unless you have another way to get to him.
Yeah, I think you turn it back on again.
Are we able
Why-
to turn it back on? Do we even know how?
What'd you do last time?
I didn't do anything.
Oh, I thought you did something. I thought you read something, or I wasn't here that day.
You disrupted the runes, as he sort of looked to the halfling.
On Pesci's instruction.
Right, but now why don't you just disrupt the runes again? Let's see what happens.
We barely
Well-
survived the first time.
Well, maybe he just pops back out again.
Does Gorakul think anything of this? Any rolls that could be made?
Well, you just rolled for your Arcana.
Any other rolls?
So the magic flickered off.
Yeah, the energy that was in the inside of the circle is now off.
Yeah, I don't think the problem was that there was active magic, and then we disrupted it to turn it on. Now that it's off, I don't think that other room is really going to be very much help.
Mm. Well, I mean, we can either sit around and wait for him to come back, or we could try to do something.
I think we need to find a way to turn it back on.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case.
I'm open to suggestions then.
He's sort of very confused at the moment.
Sure. I mean, I would just go ahead and play with the runes again and see if that does anything.
Gorakul again is going to sort of clear his throat and say, "May I remind you that messing with the runes caused more bad than good, with the whole brain dragon appearing."
I mean,
Alright.
that brain dragon went down pretty easy, and if we don't turn it on, it seems like we're probably not getting Pesci back.
Right.
That's a risk I'm willing to make in order to get Pesci back.
I agree. But first, Gorakul, do me a favor. Get Bitey Slayer back. Use something and get her back to something resembling health.
What's her health looking like?
Well, she's unconscious right now, I think.
Yes.
So why don't you go ahead and lay on hands and heal her. I'm gonna go stand up here next to the front of the thing, and let's see what happens when Perzor does what he does.
I have no idea what to do.
Well, whatever you did last time, just do it again.
I messed up some of the runes. I don't think that's really what we want to do here. I think we want to restore it. I think we want to restore it, not destroy it. Because destroying it will probably seal it away forever, which would strand him on wherever he is.
Yeah, that's probably true. But then, so the runes. So you're in front of the runes.
No.
Where are the runes at?
They were way down in that other room.
Yep.
Hmm. Right. So why don't we go down to the other room and take a look?
Gorakul heals.
I think we need to. I don't remember exactly the way. I mean,
Gorakul.
To the right.
Down and to the right.
Gorakul heals Bitey Slayer.
I've been locked. I can't grab Pesci. Oh, I'm not Pesci. That's why. Duh.
All right. Thank you, Gorkle. My light's not working anymore.
Yeah,
DM,
I
should I just be leaving Pesci on the map where he is?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave him there.
Yeah, and DM, I'm back to not knowing where I'm going. I'm completely dark. Bitey Slayer, you want to move down?
I actually should have light now. My sword gives off light.
Hey, thank you. It is lit.
There.
It was all the way down here.
All the way down. Where?
You see the purple circle all the way down, like due south.
Yeah.
You can see where my character is.
Pearl Circle all the way down due south.
If you go due south, and then
Yeah, I gotcha.
yeah.
All right, so we're walking all the way down there, basically.
Yeah, I mean that's the runes that we were talking about from before.
All right. Is Bitey Slayer coming with us?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can consider Bitey there.
Okay, so hold on. I'm trying to get myself down there, and I'm having a bit of a time doing it. Yep. I'm just trying to. You guys are all the way down there. Gotcha. Okay. All right, so we're all together down here. Nice purple room. Pretty cool.
Is the room still purple?
Yes.
Is the magic still bouncing around?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd go all the way inside just yet. D'Angelo.
Okay, well, I'm already here.
Did you say yes or no?
I said no.
Well, I put myself there, so I think it would be like playing chess. I laid my piece down, and I shouldn't pull it back again.
I didn't hear you.
I
Didn't
said
hear
Said
me?
no. No, it's not.
Good.
Okay. All right, so we're looking at this thing, and what did we do last time?
Gorakul is going to examine this, is going to investigate this room.
Well, you guys have investigated the room.
Anything different?
Just the rune that Perzor scraped.
So I guess is there a way to restore it to maybe make it stabilize?
That's an interesting idea. Gorkle, you know anything about this?
I'll roll an Arcana.
Why are you
Yeah, why are you?
disadvantaged?
I have 2 exhaustion, so I think you take a rest.
Yeah, I'm at 1 exhaustion, but I worry that if we take a rest down here, I mean, we've been pushing through a lot, and it's been because we've been on a pretty tight schedule to try to figure out. Well, we just keep on adding mysteries that we need to solve before the oncoming orc horde gets here.
Well, let me try. I mean, I haven't rolled Arcana before. Let's see if I know anything.
Well, you'd have to have skills in Arcana to begin with.
Oh, okay, not my thing. I guess it's a shame that we don't have Lucy with us. All right. So I guess I'm a little stumped. Perzor, do you want to? Is there something you can do to? You want to try to move something around in there? Do you want me to try to move something around?
I don't even know what I did to begin with. I just thought, well, I'll tell you what my line of thinking was. That, hey, we're trying to... This seems to be I thought it was a power source to the portal, because they both had the same purple energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought maybe turning off the power source would power down the portal. That was not the case. I came in here, messed around with the runes, and then we all got shocked for like 30 damage. It sucked. Would not recommend. 0 of 5 stars on Yelp.
Okay.
So, anything on Pesci's end?
Well, we're not going to.
Well, I mean, we have no way to know what's going on with Pesci. Pesci might actually already be dead for all that we know. He blinked out of existence.
Pesci has no idea what's going on right now.
So, was there any other room that had anything that looked like controls, or anything that looked like runes, or anything that looked like writing?
No, we came here, and then we remembered that, hey, there was purple up there.
Right.
So we went to go see what the effect was, and that's when that dragon popped out.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure that's a decent synopsis of what happened.
Well, I tell you what, you guys want to just back off, and I'll do that, and I'll get, and then we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe just repeat the process, and I'll get damaged, and that's okay.
And Gorakul sort of sighs and says, fine. Gorakul
I
just...
mean, it's your funeral, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what other option we got. Let's see if we can open the thing back up again. All right, so are they far enough away to likely not be damaged by my action here, DM?
Yeah, if they all get out of the room.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm going to go into the room, and I'm going to pick something up. I'm going to take one of the runes. I'm going to pick it up.
The runes are etched into the floor.
Oh. So Perzor scratched one. Is that what he did?
Yeah, he took his metal.
Yeah, you can
boot.
you can see the scuff mark on the ground.
Yeah, he like chipped it up.
And I can't read any of this writing, right?
Right.
Well, we already know what it says, right? Like, couldn't...
Not what it says. You know...
What it does.
That the runes are sealing runes.
Because I thought Pesci or Gorakul could read it.
It's
might be misremembering that, though.
It's not words like that.
Okay.
I'm just going to take my hand. I'm going to touch them. Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. I'm going to take the handle of my sword. I'm going to tap on, I'm not going to scratch it. I'm just going to tap on the top of it with the sword.
Ooh, is it a magic sword?
It is.
Yep,
I assume nothing.
Nothing happens.
I'm going to take my sword. I'm going to, basically clang it against one of the runes. And still nothing.
Roll a strength.
Oh,
Like I'm never gonna actually do that again.
that's incredible.
You smash one of the stone tiles that the rune is etched onto, and as the rune is smashed, you can feel energy start to swirl around the room,
All right, I'm gonna start running.
and then you take
Yep.
56 points of damage.
Okay. Yummy.
That's a word for it.
Yep. All right. Okay, I'm gonna get out. Okay, that wasn't fun.
Told you.
I know. Well, why don't we go back and see what happens here? Although we might want to take a rest before we do that.
I mean, I have no hit die remaining, so a rest does not do me very much good.
I got one. Okay, we're gonna head back.
Head back to where?
To where we just were. We're gonna head back to the portal.
DM, is there anything Pesci can do from his end, or is he still just floating?
No, yeah, you're in a nightmare. Like, you don't even know if you're awake.
Oh man, this isn't his first trip though.
Oops, I went to the wrong area. Go back over here.
Is the
So nothing worked.
is the portal back on again?
The
Or no?
portal is not back on.
Okay. That was a waste of time. And 56 hit points of damage. That's
I
fine.
warned you.
Yeah, I know, but what else we got to do here? Is there anything off here to the left? The big altar. This is an altar, right, DM?
Yes.
Anything different about the altar?
Nope.
Is that indentation something you can lay into or something like that? Or is it just a circle? It's just a circle.
Yeah, no, it's like, where a body would rest.
I mean, the difficult part about this is the person that knows most about it has disappeared into the void.
That's correct.
We need to rest right now because the Oracle could know, but he is exhausted.
That's a fair point. Gorkul, why don't you come on back to the portal here where we lost Pesci?
I was gonna say, I also am exhausted. Like, I have one exhaustion.
Okay. Well, that's everybody. Let's hang out. Let's rest here. I'll use my hit die.
I'm not entirely sure that this is the safest place to rest. When I say I'm not entirely sure, I know that this is not the safest place to
but
rest.
I mean, if Pesci comes back out, you want to know that he's here. I mean, you want to be around.
Oracle
Yeah.
will block off the entrance so nothing crawls into.
Okay, well, what are you going to do? Let's take a rest here. All right, so DM, we got a short rest going here.
A long rest, because
A long rest?
exhaustion doesn't go unless you take a long rest. Right, DM?
Yes, but
I mean, it has to be a completed long rest. We are exposing ourselves to danger. Like, we are knowingly exposing ourselves to danger by resting right here.
Okay.
This seems like a really bad idea.
Okay, well then where else do you want to go?
like we can write a note on the ground or something like that that says, "Hey Pesci, we're sleeping over here," in case he comes back, so he doesn't feel completely abandoned.
Okay.
But there were any number of stone barracks that were due south that would make a better and safer place to encamp.
Okay.
I do not want to say anything about that idea.
Hmm.
I mean, although that is true, the last time that we did that, that giant
Mm-hmm.
was it toad thing came through?
Right.
Froghemoth, yeah.
The Froghemoth. But I mean, like, Froghemoth or Mind Flayer Dragon. Like,
So why don't we use one of the rooms that's just to the south here, the southeast, and we can kind of barricade from there.
Yeah. Oh, down there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's close enough that we'll be able to hear, but not just immediately, like, something pops up and we're dead.
Yeah. What do you think, Gorpal?
I suppose so.
Okay, come on along, Bitey Slayer. Let's see what happens.
You guys also know now that, like, for sure the army is going to get to the town before you get back.
Well, there's not much to be done. We gotta see if we can get Pesci back.
If that's the case, Gorakul is sort of looking to the group and saying, "Oh, this is terrible. If we rest now, we risk an entire town being killed off.
Well, we're
We
not
need
gonna
to
be able.
tell them."
We're not gonna be able to help them much at this point.
Didn't we already tell them?
No, because as soon as we showed up, that was Halloween, and they all
No.
turned into zombies.
But we had a rest between then and when we came down to the cave. We should have told them during that time, would be my assumption. Because we spoke to the mayor.
Yeah, but without your help, it's not going to make a difference.
Well,
Okay.
my point is that they're aware that the army's coming.
Yes, but we need the help.
Well, it's right now we're all beat up. We're completely disadvantaged, and we don't have our bard. So
Yes, but suddenly everything is pointless.
well, no, I think you got to rest. I think you're going to have to come back, and we'll figure it out afterwards. First things first.
Oracle, sort of like standing up, so realizing this incident, saying, "We need to get back to the village," and heads out to the village.
Okay, how are you doing that? Which way are you going?
Through the place where the undead spiders were?
Yeah, to the left.
So, we're abandoning Pesci down here?
Well,
We should. You did say you're going to leave a note there.
okay. You guys, I guess the
mean,
alternative is to say, we're going to leave
it's
a note that says, "We return to the village. Come find us if you get out."
I think, there's a little bit of a difference between we're sleeping right around the corner to we've left this area entirely. Those are two slightly different things. And when I say slightly, what I really mean is those are two humongously different things.
Thanks. What's your instinct here, Perzer? You want to stick around?
I mean, I think we owe Pesci at least that much.
No, I agree with you. But Gorakul, you're gone already?
Yeah,
Do you
he's
really?
gone already.
Do you really owe Pesci that much?
Yeah, how else am I going to get my $20 back?
You mean 20 gold?
No,
All right.
actually 20 deer, large male deer.
There you go. There you go. Well, here's the other thing. I mean, maybe
Is that worth the life of a village?
well,
Pesci is.
I think Gorakul, you're already gone, so it's hard for you to continue to have the argument.
Yes, I know, just out of character.
Mm-hmm. Well, I understand. Is there a strong instinct here for us to go back to the village? Is that what we're saying? After a while, are we recovering here, or are we just kind of?
Well, I mean, that depends on what's going to happen, because as Gorakul realizes how close the army is and, stands up to leave, you guys just stick around, or, you know, like I need to know who does what so that I can like
Hmm.
adjudicate what happens now.
Man, how far of a walk is it to the? I mean, just going directly back to the village. How far of a walk is it? Is it an hour? Is it 30 minutes? What is it?
What did we say it was? Like half a day? Like 4 hours?
Yeah, it's not close.
I thought it was like 2.
I'm pretty sure it was somewhere around 4 hours.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Gorkul. I think I'm sticking around because I don't see why we leave Pesci here, and it's a village, and my character, there's some loyalty there, but it's not like these villagers are people that I know and love and dearly. I'm just trying to be helpful, and right now I'd rather be helpful to somebody in my party than helpful to a bunch of people I don't know.
Well, Gorakul cares about the greater good.
I appreciate that. I don't think that's my character's design.
Thus, conflict arises.
Right. And
All
Perzer,
right.
your instinct is to stay here too, right?
I don't particularly owe, that village anything. Like we did everything we could, just even in the fact that we saved them from that horrific virus.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's where we're at. I think Gorakul has left, and Perzer and my character D'Angelo remain behind.
All right. So, Gorakul is on his way to the village. You guys are taking a long rest?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, at
Okay.
this point, we're more or less just waiting to see if he comes through the portal.
So you guys take a long rest, and during that time, it's very hard to sleep because every time you start to have REM sleep, you catch an image of Pesci, but with tentacles growing out of his head instead of hair, and tentacles growing out of his hands instead of fingers.
Well,
Let's
that's
be
not good.
honest. This is probably not the first time Pesci has shown that, given the trickster he is to the party.
We fun.
And Pesci, you keep like seeing glimpses of your party like reaching out to like try and help you, but like every time you reach for them it like disappears.
Hmm. So we're still in some level of psychic contact with him, but
Or maybe it means that he's at least still alive.
I think he's still alive. There's that.
So, there's no solution to all of this?
Not yet, no. But you're now on your way back to the village, and so Perzer and I have now
And
woken up. I assume.
Well, this is what's happening while you're resting.
Okay.
Right.
And then uh Gorakul,
is Bitey Slayer at least following Gorakul?
yeah. Bitey sticks with Gorakul. And as you and Bitey Slayer make your way back to the village, you can hear and see that it is just in the nick of time. The poor villagers have mounted what feeble defense they can, and armed their farmers with pitchforks and scythes and weapons that they had, which are more tools for harvesting than anything, but still, um, it's what they had available, and so they have a line of defenders and some archers, but um, not much, and it's pretty pathetic. And so Bitey sets herself up um, over by the mill, and
Is that a question? Can I at least have control of one of the characters one of the players that aren't here? Just to even things out with the defense.
well, no, because
You don't want to try to defend, Gorakul. You're just going to throw yourself into the meat grinder and be killed.
Well, it's not that. It's that that's their character. So
Right.
I thought that we were trying to get them to.
You're angry at me.
escape
I'm
the
sorry.
cave.
what?
No one's angry at you.
Nobody's
Yeah.
angry with anybody. I'm just not gonna have Elodie or Lucy or somebody like end up dead or something like that when they weren't playing the character. You know my stance on that.
Well,
Okay.
really quick, out of character. Originally, we were talking about having them escape through caves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't that still be the plan? Just to get them to come through the caves?
Well, if things go poorly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just.
Gorakul is going.
Was
Gorakul is going to help them set up the defense to try and help make sure to reinforce the defense so that it looks, and using sort of like druidic magic to sort of like help reinforce it, like using runes and such. Sorry if I'm being convoluted.
No, that's pretty much exactly what I was describing, was that Bitey and Gorakul are going to use their unique talents as heroes that are not, your typical NPCs that can barely swing a club. You guys have magic and spells, and so you're going to be able to use your starry form of the archer to shoot orcs at a distance, and Bitey has firebolt, of course. But then she also has a plan that if her position at the top of the mill gets overrun by the orcs, the mill is full of very flammable, ground wheat and flour and all of that, and so she's gonna just burn the mill down and get as many orcs as tried to overrun her as possible, probably sacrificing herself in the process.
Not unless Gorakul can help her from that situation.
Yeah, if you can get her down or something. But yeah, just that's her basic plan, is to, use the top of the mill for a sniper tower to use her firebolt, and if her position gets overrun, burn all the orcs with the mill to the ground.
So she doesn't have an escape plan?
Well, not, a great one.
So basically, you're sacrificing Bitey Slayer potentially to save the town.
Yes.
All right, Gorakul, you're on.
And so as the morning wears on and the orc battle drums sound louder and louder, suddenly ogres move to the front of the lines. They have little catapults on their back, and they start flinging goblins loaded with fireball potions over the front lines into the village, spreading fire and destruction and chaos. As the goblin bombardment ceases, suddenly the wolf riding orcs and goblins come riding in. They're held off bravely by the villagers, who use their bows and crossbows and whatever ranged weapons they have. Some of them are just chucking rocks, but they drive off the first wave of goblin wolf riders. Goblins only have like 4 hit points, so one.
Along with Gorakul's help.
Oh yeah, of course. We're getting to you guys. This is still the lower level goblins, coming in, and they're actually able to be held off by the villagers somewhat. And then after driving off some of the wolf riders and forcing them to bring up their large orc shock troopers in heavy iron plate armor, wielding huge 2-handed weapons, they come forward and just begin like chopping their way through the line of infantry of villagers, because like you guys don't have armor. Like at best you have like some padded or leather armor, but like nobody's really rocking any like breastplate or chainmail.
The only plate that they have, we stole from that one blacksmith that I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
Hey, those topaz shards will be very good in a slingshot. Okay, it may even poke out an eye.
There you go.
So
They only have a few hit points.
So they get chopped down pretty quickly, but that is when Bitey Slayer and Gorakul step in, and using your starry form, you blast some of the orc troopers and drive them back. Well, Bitey uses a new spell she learned, Wall of Fire, to protect the flanks of your infantry and your archers, so that you guys can continue to wither away at the massive horde. The battle is going extremely well, but you're still outnumbered like 7-1. It's just not favorable odds at all for you. And so
And Gorakul sort of like curses at the idiocy that is the lizard folk and the halfling's selfishness.
That's correct.
and so
Take issue with that.
right.
Don't think it's selfishness.
As Gorakul continues to face wave after wave of these orcs, and then finally they start to send in even bigger guns. Now there are trolls with rending claws, and many villagers are losing their lives trying to hold off these trolls. But luckily, Bitey Slayer has the magic cure all for trolls, and lets fire fly everywhere, making sure that the trolls' regeneration is not a huge issue. And as the smell of the burning troll flesh fills the village, you guys are truly in a hellish landscape of war. There are orc bodies and goblin bodies and human bodies just burnt and bloodied and lying every which way. Pieces of bodies lie on the ground from where someone lost a hand or uh, part of a foot, and even horses and wolves lie amongst the dead like some macabre fruit salad all mixed together of various corpses. And so as the battle just like wears on and you face more and more dangerous waves of orcs, one of the orc warlords with two heavy flails steps forward and faces the village champion. The village champion is a young man who just happens to have a lot of natural athletic ability. He wasn't trained like at a castle the way, some knights and all of that were. Um, but
Well, in any case, Gorakul is going to make sure to be the support for the village champion,
yeah,
being like healing and buffs.
yeah. So as he faces the huge towering orc warlord, he moves quickly and gracefully in and out, slashing and stabbing, but the orc's armor is nearly impenetrable. That is when he takes a massive blow from the flail to one of his arms. You hear a crunch as he shatters the bone. You quickly use one of your higher level slots to cure wounds and get him back in the fight just as he rolls out of the way from a double overhead flail smash that would have killed him, just smashed him into paste. And as he continues to fight, the battle kind of goes back and forth a little bit, but you have to like keep healing him. But because you keep healing him, eventually he stands over the orc and uses his awesome athletic strength to slice the orc's head off. That is what forces the orc horde to pull back for today. And
Well done.
you and Bitey and the village are able to get a long rest in now yourselves, while we jump back to the other party, and then we'll see, you know, what ends up happening on the next day and all of that. So for now, you go to rest and wash up. Your battle is won, but looking around at your casualties, even if you had inflicted 2-1 or 3-1 casualties, that still leaves you outnumbered by more than 3 or 4-1. And so you just you don't know how to call this a victory. And you and the villagers go to wearily rest and wash up.
And Gorakul
I have
sort
an
of
idea.
tends to the wounded.
It's a Pyrrhic victory. That's how you call it a victory.
Yes,
Sure. Great.
Pyrrhic victory indeed.
Well, that's a better than it's better than a loss. But we don't know anything about this, Perzor. We're just kind of hanging out, resting, hoping our friend gets back. And these dreams have been really, really weird, man. These like tentacle things. You get this tentacle thing in your head there?
Oh, that happened to you too.
Yeah, it did. It was pretty cool. I mean, I've seen some good, some good storytelling before, but it was pretty weird. It's pretty weird. I can't tell you it's a comfortable feeling having tentacles wrapped around your head.
That doesn't seem like. I mean, if what's happening in our dreams is real, then we really need to figure out an answer to this sooner rather than later. Because it seems like Persor. It seems like Pesci is not having a good time in there.
No, I would think not. I don't know. I mean, do you want to try? You want to try breaking it? I mean, we could, if our strength is back here and we feel like we're kind of getting ourselves. I got kicked off the server here. Hold on a second. Do we? Do you want to go back and like try to break the thing? You want to try like walking through it? What else you want to try?
I don't even know what else we can try at this point.
Um,
Go ahead.
No. I mean, I wish Gorakul would come back so that way he may actually be recovered and relaxed, and he may be able to help us out here because you and I are just walking blind.
I mean, yeah, anything we try, at this point, we're just waiting. Like, if we are fully recovered, or like we've gotten a long, fitful sleep, then I guess let's go out and see if anything's changed in here.
Okay. I have to get my character back and my map back, DM, because it looks like I was kicked off the server here. Oh, there we go. Awesome.
Well, we don't need the map, so you guys go back into the portal room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you go to examine the side of the Stargate, and you're trying to determine if you could smash it or break it, you click some of the runes into place, and suddenly it flickers on for a moment, and you can see Pesci like being attacked by giant flying squid-like monsters.
I'm gonna reach in and try to grab him. Can I reach in and grab him?
You can roll a strength check to see if you can pull him out.
Okay, here we go, baby. Where are those double 20s when I need them?
I'd like to try to assist in some way. I don't know if I can. Like, if he's going to reach in, can I don't know, anchor him on the one side, like hold one hand to maybe...
Yeah, you grab his tail.
Yeah. Can I roll strength?
Imagine the scene from
roll a strength check for that?
Poltergeist.
Yeah, roll
Towards
a
the end.
strength check to grab onto his tail.
Nope.
So you're just kind of being pulled along. D'Angelo, you're pulled somewhat into there, and you can see these flying squid monsters. They have fangs dripping with blood, and
They jump like. Sorry.
and just as you're like being pulled all the way in, you manage to brace and yank Pesci out. You guys tumble backwards onto Perzor. Perzor, you're getting like crushed by the weight of D'Angelo and Pesci on top of you.
Hey, Pesci, how you doing, man?
Oh my god, you're back. Are you okay? Does he look okay? Is he the
Pesci-
same person?
Pesci, here's where, you know, he asks you if you're okay. You feel instinctively on your leg where one of the vampire squids bit you, but you know that it's hidden and nobody can see it. And so do you tell them that you've been bit, or do you keep that to yourself?
Oh wow, that is a very good question. No, I think this is information he would share, but he would share it in a way where it's sort of like matter of fact. Says, I was in the battle of my life as he's trying to like move his like pants up, his pant leg up to like see specifically how his leg looks. And says like one of those little rascals got a hold of my leg here. But I think my reenactment of the mighty warrior from the plays that I practiced back in the day really gave him second thought, and I managed to keep my leg because of that, I think. As he looks down and checks the wound, the bite marks.
So how you feeling? You feel anything different? You feel strange? You know? Do we need to like cut your leg off? What's the deal?
That's a good question, DM.
Well, it was a semi-ethereal creature, so the bite went straight through all your clothes without damaging them, but then, like, it left a festering wound on your leg.
All right, we got to get you back to the village. Maybe we can find somebody who can help you out here. Because
Yeah, let's one problem at a time. I'm just glad you're back.
I agree.
Can I make any heads or tails of the wound here?
Did you not just the wound, but did you have any idea? Like, is this thing closed, or do we have to continue to worry about things coming through here? Like, what's going on? What do we know about the?
Yeah, it's flickering again.
All right, let's get out of here.
Can we like just knock the rune back out of alignment?
You know what? I don't want to touch it again. Let's just get out of here. Let's get back to the village.
I mean, that's not a bad idea. Like, whatever we just did, he came through there. Let's undo it.
All right. Let's undo it and let's get going. Okay.
Yeah. At this point, we need to go back and because Gorakul mentioned that if we waited for you, we weren't gonna make it back in time to stop that orc horde. So maybe we can go and reinforce them if they manage to survive the night. Let's hope they did.
Okay. Let's get going.
As you go to spin the Stargate, it's like turning the tuner on an old television set.
I told you we should just get the hell out of there.
Yeah, like it doesn't turn it off, it just like alters the vertical and horizontal and
Let's
brightness.
go.
And
We're leaving. We're getting out of here.
Can we leave it on static? Like, I mean,
Don't-
I'd rather leave it on static than leave it tuned to a channel. If you get my drift.
That's a fair point, but I don't know if we can tell the difference.
right.
I mean, hopefully, maybe Pesci can. Does he have any? Like, he'd be the person that we would go to ask this question about anyway. him or Gorakul, and given that Gorakul's not here,
So
Pesci,
Pesci,
let us know when to stop.
You can decide how your character develops with all of this, but now that you've been pulled into the Far Realm, looking at it can be a source of either going crazy or anxiety, PTSD. Like there's a whole lot of stuff with the Far Realm now beyond just oh yeah, here's a place I knew.
Yeah, I would think it would be more of a PTSD thing.
Yeah, let's just get out. Let's just get.
But he would just play it off as just like a, oh yeah, I went there, saw unimaginable creatures and horrors, and they scarred me for life. As he draws into like a long 1,000-yard stare, as he starts recounting his experience in just a monotone.
Let's get out of here. Can we get out of here?
So we're not going to try to turn this off at all?
No, I mean it sounds like we're not. It doesn't look like we're making a difference here. It's just different colors, different whatever it is. I mean, unless you want to. I mean, look. Let's bring back somebody who knows what they're doing with this thing, and maybe it's Gorakul or maybe it's somebody else. But right now, let's just get out of here. We got our friend back. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, I guess cut our losses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right. We're on our way out.
Okay, so you guys head out and head back to the village, and based on the timing of everything, you're going to make it to the village just as Gorakul is finishing his long rest. So Gorakul, you're up and planning the next day's defenses of the village, and so you see your erstwhile companions coming down the hills.
Hey, dude, we found Pesci. How'd you do?
Gorakul just looks at them with spite in his eyes and says, I've been doing I've been doing quite well, as he sort of says in gritted teeth. Trying to keep the village champion alive. Trying to stop thousands and thousands of orcs coming in.
So how'd you do?
How about you take a look yourself? And he shows him the sort of the area surrounding him.
Yeah, just piles of bodies, dozens of dead villagers.
That's really good. That's pretty impressive, dude. You did this all yourself? You do this all yourself?
Well, if you count both Bitey Slayers and Brilliant Flames, as he sort of gestures to Bitey Slayer, and the village's cooperation with their fight against them, then no, I didn't do it alone. Though,
Well,
I wish you were here.
well, you didn't need us. That's the good news. See, it all worked out.
Gorakul just sort of shakes his head and says, "Do you realize the amount of casualties we went through?"
Well, sometimes, to make an omelet, you need to scramble some eggs.
I'll never understand your loyalty to total strangers.
It's called the greater good.
Lots of terrible things have been done in the name of the greater good. Greater good is not a good reason.
Not usually, no. But, we'll accept it. We'll accept it for now. I mean, the good news is it all turned out for the best, right? Everybody got what they needed. We got Pesci back so he can entertain us because, I didn't want to be sitting here playing this lute all by myself.
Pesci is unusually quiet ever since his little trip.
Dude!
He is picking at his festering leg.
Oh, wait. Hey, Gorkul, can you look at this thing? Look at this thing. Tell us what you think this thing is, because this is weird.
I'm going to roll a.
Medicine.
Yeah. Also, where's my other health dice that I gained?
I am going to inspire Garkul by monotoning exactly what sort of creatures he was facing in horrible, gruesome details inside of the nightmare.
And what do I roll to add to the roll?
You need to roll a d8.
Got it. So that's an unnatural 20.
Yep.
How very
So-
unnatural.
So you can tell that whatever bit him, it didn't inject him with like a poison. There's something like incubating in there.
Oh dear. Looks like. Well, would you like to hear the good news or bad news first?
We'll take
Let's go with the bad news, so that way the good
He
news.
stares directly into your eyes and says, I do not know if there's any such thing as bad news after what I've experienced.
Hmm.
Well, then you're in luck. Then we have 2 bits of good news.
Okay. So, bad news. There seems to be something incubating in your leg. Like, how do I say, an egg of sorts? An embryo, to be exact.
Pesci shudders.
Would you like to hear the good news?
He nods.
You were not poisoned or envenomed in any way, so that's a start. But again, if we're going to make sure your life is continued, you might as well get that parasitic egg out of your leg.
Oh, good. Do I get to cut off his leg?
Please don't. Cut off my leg, that is.
Well, I think Sergi would do it. As Garkul sort of like leads him to inside to a table that he sort of sets up and lays him down on, you know?
Yep.
And Garkul sort of prepares to perform surgery on this parasite leg to see if he can extract the embryo/egg.
Okay.
Better be a
Well,
damn good roll.
Go ahead and roll your medicine check. Now,
Another unnatural 20.
now here's the problem. This is some kind of ethereal egg, so you can't like operate on it with material tools.
So it'll require magic.
Yes.
Garkul sort of looking outside to the others, knowing that they have magical tools, says to them, "Could I trouble you to help with like using your tools as a way of
Pesci,
extracting the egg?"
Pesci hands you his dagger. His vicious dagger.
Is it a magic dagger?
It's
Or
a
is just-
vicious dagger. Yes, it's magic.
I have a
Got it.
moon-touched rapier. Has the word moon in it.
Well,
Make sure that's disinfected.
yeah. Garkul makes
know,
sure these two
Don't want to
blades
lose my leg over something. As he laughs uneasily.
Gorakul makes sure to wash them thoroughly and prepares surgery with the rapier and dagger. It's sort of like a weird lockpick, but with surgery.
Yeah. So, I'm going to give you a point of inspiration for that. However, the magical items are not enough to. You're going to need a spell, some kind of remove curse or something.
Would dispel magic work?
You can try.
Pesci tries to cast dispel magic on whatever is inside his festering wound.
Roll a concentration check.
Oof. Okay. I'm going to use a point of inspiration on myself. I don't know if I
That's
can use
bardic
this.
inspiration.
Bardic inspiration. Yeah, excuse me. I'm going to use a point of bardic inspiration on myself.
Okay.
And I'll roll the D8.
All right. You almost pass out from the pain, but you manage to cast Dispel Magic. It temporarily alleviates the pain, but you can still feel it in there.
Hmm.
And no removal is possible unless I have remove curse.
Right.
Hmm.
How long is this thing going to take to hatch? Give it to me straight, Doctor. How long do I got? As he's doing
Well,
his rendition of an ER patient.
as Gorakul sort of looks at it, well, again, we could remove the leg,
About 7 weeks.
7 weeks.
but yes, and Gorakul says it seems like it's going to be 7 weeks until this thing hatches. We could remove the leg, and in doing so, make sure that it doesn't do any further damage and just stays in the leg.
Well, we can find somebody. There's got to be somebody we find in the next 7 weeks. Is there another wizard? Is there another, May? Is there some magical character out there that we can find, maybe in the village or?
DM, do I know of any clerics or something in the immediate area, or in an area that we can get to within 7 weeks?
Yeah, I mean the Vikings have their own form of clerics. It's not clerics like in the traditional sense, but they worship gods and stuff, yeah.
Hmm.
They're like shamans. They're called shamans, if I'm right.
And there's nothing that Lucy has. If we find her again, she's she's a ranger. She doesn't have that spell, does she?
No.
Okay. What's the likelihood, Gorakul, of there being another attack here? What's your guess?
100%.
Imminent.
Yes, it's fated to happen.
It's like barring Gandalf coming over the ridge with the Riders of Gondor, 100%.
All right. Is there anybody in the village that can we ask around in the village, see if we can find the cleric?
I don't think they would.
No,
If they
you never know.
did, they would know about. They wouldn't be as he sort of looks around to the butchered group and the butchered millions and says, if this is to show anything, probably that they don't have a cleric.
Well,
But I wouldn't say no. And he looks to the mayor.
do we see the mayor? Has the mayor survived?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go find the mayor.
Okay.
Yo, mayor. How you doing? Such great leadership in the face of such tremendous difficulties.
Yeah, this has been barrel of monkeys.
We're all trying to get through this together, right? So, we got our friend here. He needs a cleric. He needs somebody who can remove magic here. You got somebody around that can help us out?
Does it look like we do?
Hey, I figured I'd ask. You're the mayor, right?
Like, if we had a cleric, then like we'd have infinite sources of like healing and food and water and like all kinds of good stuff like that.
I guess that was. So, where do you think the nearest cleric is? Maybe we can go get the nearest cleric and bring him to you.
Right there, and points at
Cool.
Gorkul.
Yeah.
He's not the right guy. Doesn't have the right skill set for this.
Why are
The
we not
second
talking about
closest.
evacuating?
That's true. Why are we not talking about evacuating? It's a good point.
To go where?
I mean, into the cave seems like a better option than out here on the open ground.
Yeah, but if we go into the cave, like for how long, and then like, what happens to our food and everything that we've grown here in the village, like,
You can regrow food. It's much more difficult to regrow
I'm going to roll can I roll a nature or survival check to see if I can help with that?
Well, like they need to fight to defend the village at first, and only if it becomes indefensible do they retreat,
Yes, but would Gorakul know anything about growing crops in caves?
I mean, those mushrooms. They seem
Yes,
edible. Some of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll. Can I roll a nature check?
I mean, you're not going to be able to set up a food growing system for an entire village, like.
No, I mean, look, they either have to buy into hiding, for a couple weeks or like a week and bring as much food as they can, or they're just gonna stay out here and they're gonna be slaughtered. And I'd rather get my friend healthy here. So why don't we just move on and try to find another cleric that can do this thing?
Gorakul sort of looks to the two and says, "You really do not understand the concept of the greater good, do you?"
No, I really don't. No, I'm into the greater good. I'm into protecting the people that have protected me. That's what I'm into. But look, we got 7 weeks. So if you want to hang out for a little while and protect these villagers, I'll do that with you. But no more than a few days here because, man, we got to get this guy to some place where we can help him get healed.
I mean, discretion is the grander part of valor. I think
And then
retreating
Gorakul's
for a few days to let the orcs pass over us. You want to talk about the greater good? Which is more important, these people's lives or these people's crops?
I mean, you can always regrow crops.
Which was my point.
Right.
Like giving up this open, very difficult to defend land in favor of the caves underground, which is far more defensible. You cannot easily pass an army through a system of caves.
So, Mayor, you can bring everybody underground for like a couple of days, and we'll stand at the gate here. We'll stand at the front, and we'll try to protect you. And let's see if we can get them to go away.
And there's fresh water. You can bring supplies and food with you. We can set up more defensible positions.
And Gorakul sort of remembers something and sort of whispers and says, "Could be also good because then we would be able to try and find the cure to the the certain disease in their system.
And there's already a small city that's carved in there that would have ample room for barracks, etc.
Yeah.
And a giant eye going into the far plane that has horrible, unspeakable monsters that will go and eat us all. They're our
Nothing bad ever happens
nightmares.
on the ground. Nothing bad ever happens.
Gorakul just sort of covers Pesci's mouth at that and says,
Pesci's still going.
sorry about that.
So what do
Sorry
you say?
about that. He just has some trauma.
So what do you say, Mayor? Let's go. Come on, bring everybody in. Let's bring everybody, just right in there, and you'll find you can get comfortable down there. Bring some food, bring some games. Let's go.
No, we're gonna keep defending our village.
We can't even roll a persuasion roll?
We have to defend our village. We can't bring enough of the food. By the time, there's so many logistic things going on here. Okay, first of all, everybody who is packing away food is not defending the front lines. If the orcs see that we don't have our front lines defended, they're going to overwhelm the village very quickly. If we are marching food away from the village, that's even less people defending. And that means that we can be very easily overran. If they catch up to us in the caves, yeah, you're right. You can't march an entire army abreast, but one-on-one, their soldiers are better than our farmers.
We'll protect you. You don't trust us.
I don't think these orcs are particularly interested in you all. I think if we wait until the night, try to begin our march away under the cover of darkness. So I guess if we hold out for one more day and then try to make a march away under the cover of darkness, then we at least have that half-day start, and either the orcs will forget about us or we'll get to the caves in time to defend. Either way, defending here or defending in the cave is better than trying to hold out defending here, because we might be overrun in the caves. We will be overrun here in the village. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
We're not gonna give them all of our winter food storage.
Said anything about giving it to them?
Then
We can burn it down.
Then you'll pay for it with everybody's life.
Look, so these guys aren't going to listen to us, and whatever. So we have to make a decision.
Then
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
So, Pesci, being the excellent stagehand he is, says, "Look, if you set up these orcs and everything, they're far away, and they're not exactly the most intelligent. So you can kind of easily set up some scarecrows to make them look person-ish, and then." As he's saying this, he weaves a little bit of an image of this through illusions. He says, all you need to do is just have one person kind of moving them around. We jury-rig together like a platform that we can kind of move them around on very easily without it being obvious that it's a platform, and we can kind of have them move around to make it look like there's guards that are constantly moving. I can show off some illusions to make it look like there's people still here, which would give you enough time to gather the supplies you need to get into the caves. We can move into the caves undercover or in the day or whenever, and regardless of whether or not you're here to defend yourselves or not, they're going to get the food stores. So it might just be better to set it all on fire and retreat. And as he's saying this all, he weaves a suggestion into the mayor's head, saying these orcs are going to get the food supplies regardless of whether or not the farmers are here or not.
Okay.
Then why not just bring the food supply down into the caves?
Well, that's what Pesci is suggesting, is we bring as much of the food supplies into the caves as we can get, and we burn the rest.
Yeah, well,
to keep the orcs from getting it.
I agree with the idea, but what does the mayor say?
Well,
Should I roll the suggestion roll for this?
the mayor rolled a 17 for their save. So, I do believe that beats your DC.
That is.
And so, although the mayor agrees in principle, that's why they agreed to Bitey's plan, to where if she gets cornered, to just burn the mill down and everything, because they'd rather burn it down than have it fall into the orc's hands. But like, that's a last resort kind of thing.
All right, so we're stuck, guys. Our choice is either stay and help him fight, or get going to take Pesci someplace where he can get healed.
Pesci votes to get going. These people can't be helped.
Gorakul says, I said 7 weeks. This isn't... It's not like the thing these orcs are going to attack in exactly 7 weeks.
No, but we could be here for 7 weeks defending these people and their ideas.
Well,
They are not giving up the land.
So, Pesci, here's what I'd suggest. I wouldn't mind beating the shit out of some orcs because I really don't like them. So, if you can, let's take a couple of days here. Let's go find out where the orc positions are. Let's see if we can really, beat the crap out of them, wheel them down a little bit. You're going to be okay. And let's see if we can beat the shit out of them. And then, then we'll go find you, we'll figure something out in a week or two. It's no problem.
And we still need to find the cure. And Gorakul sort of looks to the mayor and says, have I told you about the spores in your... About the spores?
No.
Right. Gorakul sort of whispers and says, an aftermath from that nasty beholder is that he left some spores in your lungs, and we are currently also trying to find the cure for that in the caverns.
What do you think about here? We're just trying to help you in more ways than you know how.
So, you're saying we all have spores inside us?
Yes, thanks to a certain beholder.
Yeah, they're gonna start to panic.
Cool. Well, maybe
Mayor?
then.
The mayor's panicking.
Yes, and Gorakul sort of is going to try and calm him. That's going to be a persuasion, right?
Yes.
Pesci is going to try to get him to go to panic more.
Sorry to interrupt. I just got off the phone and found that the house that we put an offer on has only one other offer, and we think that they're going to go with ours. So we may have just bought a house. We'll find out more firmly tomorrow.
Congratulations.
You have to roll for initiative on that. You don't get the house unless you get above 15.
God, that's you're not wrong about that. So I really have no idea what we're doing because I was just on the phone with her.
Well, I rolled an 18.
I mean, you got
For
the house.
what?
That's performance, Gorakul.
Oh,
No,
stupid.
we're trying to-
I meant persuasion.
The mayor's just found out that he's been.
Actually, that's the same modifier.
Oh, okay.
The mayor's been what?
Oh, he now knows he's got spores in his system. So
And
now he's nervous. He's tense.
but I rolled an 18 on persuasion.
Yeah, so like a good doctor, you just kind of calm them down and let them know that you're doing everything you can and you're going to take care of him.
Yes.
But then you should also
The
tell.
stars will be your cure. In
But you should
more
also
ways
tell-
than one.
But Gorkul, you should also tell him that it would work out better and you'd be closer to healing if you all went underground.
Would
No, I
that
think
help?
that was Sorry. Pesci says in character, but in the absolute worst case, if you just want to keep on holding out here, eventually you turn into horrible zombie monsters and will take out as many of them as you possibly can, leaving your supplies for the rest.
Gorakul just sort of whacks Pesci on the head with his mace.
Whoa!
Yeah, because that was very uncalled for.
And
That's
still,
extremely
that's a mace.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
not like
a
you're not
very
putting him on the
odd-
back of his hands with a ruler.
It's a little bit much.
That's like saying, "Oh, I didn't like what you said, so I cut your hand with the knife."
Okay, sorry. I'll do something different.
Oh, you can just cuff him upside the head. I mean, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's
That makes sense.
You don't have to use the mace. You can backhand him like a pop.
yeah.
Come on, man.
Yes, that's what I do. I'm sorry. Just
I like the image though. Just takes the mace and swings for the fences.
Mighty Casey.
Yeah. All right. So calming the mayor down, he is thankful once again that Gorakul has been here to help with the defenses, and Bitey, of course, has been invaluable, especially against the trolls. And so, having you around reassures him. And unfortunately, he's got, a couple hundred people to make sure that they survive the winter. And, like, he needs all the food that's here, and he can't get it all transported underground. So, like, he's got to fight to defend it. Although he does see the logic in what you guys have said, so he's having people move as much of it as he can.
in
Well-
the meantime,
Well,
In the mean-
using your scarecrow idea to make it seem like he's got more guards in place than he does.
and Gorakul also, sort of turning to the group, says, "We can always strike at them from. We can always make sure to strike at them before they arrive."
We
Right,
could
so you
probably
think-
do some sabotage. Some low grade sabotage.
And of course, with the cunning of a kobold, we can set up some traps.
All right, so then that should be our strategy. Why don't we go out and try to find them, figure out where their encampment is, see if we can do some significant damage, and maybe make them retreat.
That sounds like an excellent plan.
All right, so Pesci, you're willing to do this for a little while at least? Give it a week.
He grimaces and says, "I don't think I have much of a choice, do I?"
No, well, remember we're the ones who got you out of that, so we'll get you out. Let's go kill some orcs. I'm in the mood to kill some orcs.
So yeah, with
Pesci also
Oh, go ahead.
Pesci also says pulls Gorakul aside and says, "You know that horrible thing that's down there that pulled me into that nightmare? Just want to let you know it's still open, so it's going to be fun."
Gorakul sort of like stares in horror and says,
Well, all we got to do is we got to find that piece of moon. We got to bring it down there. We got to stuff it into there, and it'll all work out.
"I don't think it would require the moon to it, and also it's a piece of a star, not a moon."
It's a star. It's obvious, isn't it obvious? That's the way everything solves every problem. You just take the star, you bring the star there, you jam the star into the portal, and the portal blows up.
I don't think that would help.
Can it really hurt?
You can't.
Going to roll an Arcana just to say that.
I'm
One more thing to the pile. Pesci just adds, he's
Not
enjoying
20.
this bit of mischief.
Oh, it could definitely hurt. It could like open that thing up like an egg and hatch all kinds of far realm monstrosities.
but I'm just the equivalent of a conspiracy theorist in this universe here. I believe everything. that
Yeah,
the-
and I'm the reasonable doctor with all the knowledge.
There you go. So I'm Dr. Oz, and you're well, Fauci sounds almost like Pesci, but it's close, but it's not quite.
Am I Dr. Phil?
No,
Please, I hope not.
Oh,
hope not.
who is the good doctor?
Well,
Sorry.
Fauci's probably the better one of the ones that have been mentioned so far by a fairly wide margin. But let's leave it at that.
Yeah. So, as you guys make your plans to assault the orc encampment that has been assaulting the village, that is where we are going to draw to a close for this session of Dragons of War. I want to thank you guys for playing. I want to thank anyone who's watching. And as always, everyone, good
Good
game.
gaming.
Dang.